Okay, managing quality. There's a global company profile here, Arnold Palmer Hospital, as an example. Since 1989, Arnold Palmer Hospital, named after its famous golfing benefactor, has touched the lives of 7 million children. Its patients come from not only Orlando location in the United States, but all around the world, with more than 12,000 babies delivered every year. Every hospital professes quality health care, but at Arnold Palmer, quality is the mantra. Practice in fashion like Ritz-Carlton practice in hotel. The hospital typically scores top 10% of national benchmark studies in terms of patient satisfaction, and its managers follow patients' questionnaires result daily. If anything is amiss, corrective action will be taken immediately. Virtually every quality management technique we present in this chapter is employed in Arnold Palmer Hospital. One of the things is continuous improvement, where the organization will always seek ways to lower in this case, the hospital tries to find ways to lower infection rates, readmission rates, death costs, and hospital stay times. And employee empowerment. When employees see problem, they're trained to take care of it, and staff are empowered to give gifts to patient displeased with some aspect of service. Benchmark. The hospital belongs to 2,000 member organization that monitors standards in many areas and provide monthly feedback to the hospital. Just in time. Supplies will be delivered in Arnold Palmer hospitals in GIT or just-in-time basis, which will keep inventory costs low and keep the quality problem from hiding. And they use tools such as Pareto charts or flow chart that helps them to monitor process and graphically help the staff to spot any problem that arises and suggest ways that they can improve. So let's see how Arnold Palmer Hospital keeps its strategy. So there are two ways quality will improve profitability. Here, as we can see, wait a minute, let me select. If we improve quality and sales gain via improved response, via flexible pricing, via improved reputation, will increase profit. And when we improve quality, we can try to reduce costs via increased productivity, lower rework and scrap costs, and lower warranty costs, which in turn will increase profit. So we will have the flow of activity necessary to achieve quality management. In quality management, there is a term TQM, Total Quality Management. Total quality management will have the flow starting from the organizational practices with good leadership, good mission statement, operating procedure that is effective with human resource, and it will derive quality principles which can then be set to oriented to customer, to continuous improvement, to benchmark, and tools of total quality management, which then will derive to employee fulfillment. We can empower the employee to do to have an attitude or do something that can accomplish what is important to get to the quality, and it will derive to customer satisfaction, such as winning orders and repeating customers. But how we define quality? Now, quality is a little bit different for each industry types. But for the main idea, the operation manager will try to build a system of total quality management that will try to identify and try to satisfy the customer needs. That's why TQM in different organization or different industry will have different TQM for the goal, the different TQM goal. But on the broad line is they define quality as a totality of features and characteristics of product or service that bears on its ability to satisfy stated or implied needs. This is the key. Satisfy stated or implied needs. Some of the customer's needs will be stated directly, explicitly, but some is implicitly. They don't even know they need it, but if we can give it to them before they think they need it, they will take our product or our services as a good quality. Some people will believe that definition of quality will fall to different categories. Some will say it is a user base. They say the quality lies in the eyes of the beholder. It's not incorrect, but let's just say that some industries will yield more to user base, like in the in, let's say hotels and then resorts. They will try to use a user base or maybe some types of food products. But for the others, there are rules, there are standards that need to be upheld, and so using only the user base definition is not quite good. Marketing people likes to do this approach, okay? But to some, they are the ones that say that quality is based by manufacturing because it needs to conform to standards and making it right. There's also the third approach that is product-based, which view quality as precise and measurable variable. In this view, for example, is a good ice cream has high butterfat levels. This text will develop approach and techniques to address all three categories of quality, which is user-based, manufacturing-based, or product-based. So, what is the implication of good quality? First, company reputation. You can expect that an organization that have a good quality product or services will have a good reputation. So, it can become a promotion by itself. Second, product liability. Some types of product, let's say food and beverage, have a standards of health that needs to be conformed by the producers. If the people that eat those products have a problem with their health, they get sick or something, then they can sue the producers and make the producers to pay the sorry, to pay the, let's say, the suit economical costs that entails when people get sick. So in food and beverage, product liability is one of the key characteristics when we want to define a good quality. Next is global implication. As we know, in this technological age, quality goes international, not just local. So, both for the company and the country to compete effectively in the global economy, the product must meet global quality design and price expectation. Because inferior products will harm the firm's profitability and the nation's balance of payment. Okay, I will just skip some of the parts that you can read by yourself, but details like ISO 9001 2015 is one of the standards to encourage quality management. And then cost of quality. There are four major quality costs associated with quality. They are called cost of quality, COQ, which is prevention costs, which is associated with reducing the potential defective parts. Appraisal costs, which related to evaluate the product, process, and parts. Internal failure costs, which is the cost that resulted from production of defective part or services before delivery, and external failure costs, which is costs that occur after delivery of defective parts or services, because they need to be returned, liability, cost to society, loss of goodwill from the customer, and so on. Let's go into total quality management. Total quality management refers to Total quality management refers to the quality emphasis that encompass entire organization from supplier to customer. There are 14 points for implementing quality of improvement based by Demings, which is create consistency of purpose, lead, promote change, build quality into the product, build a long-term relationship, continuously improve the product, use training, emphasize leadership, drive out fear, break down barriers between departments, stop harassing workers, support, help, and improve, remove barriers to pride in work, institute a vigorous program of education and self-improvement, and put everybody in the company to work on transformation. It's not as easy as it's written. Let's talk some of these points. One of it is, let's say, for improvement, continuous improvement, because we want to continuously improve product quality and services. To continuously improvement, we need to do plan, do, check, act. This is a picture that shows what the cycle that needs to be done. Plan, do, check, act, PDCA. It's also called PDCA cycle or Deming circle or Showhart circle. Started from the planning to identify the problem, and then test the plan, okay, and then check, is it working, the plan that we have made, and then implement the plan. After we implement, and then there's another problem or something that needs to be improved, we start again from the planning phase. So it's a continuous cycle that never stops. There are other terms called Six Sigma. It is popularized by Motorola, Honeywell, General Electric. It has two meanings in TQM. In the statistical sense, it will describe a process, product, or service with extremely high capability. For example, for 1 million passengers pass to the St. Louis airport with checked baggage each month, Six Sigma program for baggage handling will result only 3.4 passenger misplaced luggage. The more common Three Sigma program, which will be addressed in the supplement of the material, would result in 2,700 passengers with misplaced bags every month. Let's see figure 6.4 here. So we try to minimize it. Sorry. The second TQM definition of Six Sigma is a program designed to reduce defects to help lower costs, save time, and improve customer satisfaction. It is a comprehensive system which uses strategy, discipline, and set of tools. It is a strategy because it focuses on total customer satisfaction. It is a discipline because it follows the formal Six Sigma improvement model known as DMAIC, which have 5 processes: define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. And it is a set of 7 tools that will be introduced in this book: check sheets, scatter diagrams, cause and effect diagrams, Pareto charts, flow charts, histogram, and statistical process control. Motorola developed the Six Sigma in the 1980s in response to the customer complaints about product and response to stiff competition. The company first set of goal reducing defects by 19%. Within 1 year, it had achieved such impressive result. Through benchmarking competitors, soliciting new ideas from employees, changing reward plans, adding traffic, and revamping critical process. General Electric later expanded the Six Sigma into services, includes human resource, sales, customer service, and financial services. How to implement Six Sigma? Implementing Six Sigma is a big commitment. Indeed, a successful Six Sigma program in every firm, from GE to Motorola to DuPont to Texas Instruments, requires major time commitment, especially from top management. These leaders have to formulate the plan, communicate their buy-in, the firm's objective, and take visible role in setting the example. Successful Six Sigma project related to strategic direction of the company, which is management-directed, team-based, and expert-led approach. Next, we talk about employee empowerment. The word employee empowerment means we will try to involve employee in every step of the production process. Employee that is running the process on the ground will have so much insights to make the process better. So we will involve them to create a good production process which will enhance the quality. We can use teams to address variety of issues with using a term that says a quality circles, which is a group of employees who meet regularly to solve the work-related problem. Next, benchmarking. Benchmarking is another ingredient in organization PQM program, which involves selecting demonstrated standards of product or services that represent the very best performance for processes or activities. The steps for developing benchmark are: determine what to benchmark, form a benchmark plan, identify benchmark partners, collect and analyze, and then take action. We can do it internally using the internal resources from the company, or we can do externally using the outside consultant. Next, just in time. Philosophy of just in time is continuing improvement and enforced problem solving. Just in time in products management usually is more common. We hear just in time is usually more common in products management because they try to reduce the inventory cost of products. They do not store the component or the product into a warehouse, but they try to procure or to make available the components that are needed just in time when it is needed. It will cut the costs. It will usually improve quality, and it definitely lowers the inventory. And using a just-in-time system, information system, it can be deployed more easily. Medium to big company use just-in-time, especially to reduce the inventory costs. And then when it is properly introduced and used, it will enhance the quality. There is a concept here called Taguchi concept, which says that most quality problem is the resultant of a poor product and process design. Genichi Taguchi from Japan has provided three concepts aimed to improve both product and process, which is quality robustness, target-oriented quality, and quality loss function. Quality robust product. It is a product that can be produced uniformly and consistently in adverse manufacturing and environmental conditions. Taguchi's idea is we remove the effect of adverse condition instead of removing the causes. Taguchi suggests that removing the effects is often cheaper than removing the causes and more effective in producing a robust product. In this way, small variation in material and process do not destroy product quality. So in this picture, we can say that we have a condition of unacceptable, poor, fair, good, and best. Our target quality will try to yield more in the best and good. But in our production facility, there will always be a lower and upper part, which is poor and unacceptable. Now, Taguchi tries to says, hey, let's try to mitigate the effects of adverse conditions, try to strike for the good and the best more than the others. Taguchi then introduced the concept of target-oriented quality to become a philosophy of continuous improvement. As a measure, the Taguchi quality loss function, or TLF, attempts to estimate the cost of deviating from the target value. Even though the item is produced within specification limits, variation in quality can be expected to increase costs as the item output moves away from its target value. The KLF is an excellent way to estimate quality costs of different processes. A process that produces closer to actual target may be more expensive, but it may yield a more valuable product. Next is the tools to know about, the tools for total quality management. We have tools for generating ideas, which is check sheets. It's an organized method for recording data. Let's say from when we're producing product A, B, and C, and then from the 8 hours a day, in the first hour, product A have 3 defects. In the second hour, only 1 defect. On the fourth hour, 1 defect, and so on. So this is just recording. Check sheets is just to be recorded. And then a scatter diagram is a graph of value of one variable versus another variable. Cause and effect diagram is a tool that identify process elements. Somewhat cause and effect diagram can be, sometimes it's called the fishbone diagram, because in the head of the fish we produce the effect, and then in the bones we put the component that cause that effect, which is material, methods, manpower, and machinery. That's to create these tools can be used to find the abnormality and or to find new ideas to create more productive or more quality products or services. Tools for organizing the data can be found in Pareto chart. A Pareto chart is a graph that identifies plot problems or defects in descending order of frequency. This way we can see that, hey, product A have more frequency of defects, product B lower, C lower, D lower, E is the most lower. So in the Pareto chart, we can say product A will have the highest frequency of defect, but the yield percentage will be most lowest, and product E will be the most highest. Then another tool is flowchart. Flowchart is a chart that describes the steps in process. It is linear approach, okay, and it can be used to chart a process or a pattern, not a pattern, but a process to do something. And it can be used as guidelines to do a process and to make quality management. Next, the tools for identifying problems is graph of histogram, which is a distribution that shows frequency of occurrence in variable. And then statistical process control chart, which is a chart with time horizontal axis for plotting values of statistics. Let's start with check sheets. This is a fishbone chart. I already told you about that. Sometimes the cause and effect diagram is called fishbone for problems with missed free throws. Missed free throws is on baseball or maybe in basketball. Okay, the problem is we have many missed free throws. So what seems to be the factor? Then define the characteristic that can cause or contribute to the missed free throws. For example, maybe there's something wrong with the method or shooting process. And maybe there is a problem in the material, which is the ball itself. Maybe there is a problem in the manpower, which means the human shooter. And maybe the problem is in the machine, or in this case, it is the hoop and the backboard of the basketball ring, for example. We then try to identify again for each main component. Let's say, hey, for the shooting process, maybe the aiming point is not good, or maybe the technique of bending the knees or balancing the body or hand position or the follow through after the shooting or pre-shooting. For the machine, the hoop and the backboard, maybe there's a problem with the rim size or the alignment or the backboard stability, which maybe woggles or toggles too much, and the height of the rim. The ball itself, maybe there's a problem of the air pressure. Maybe there's a problem of lopsidedness or size of the ball. And the shooter itself, maybe he doesn't have motivation. Or maybe in that time, he lacks concentration. Or he just doesn't have proper training. So this is just an example. It can be used for many other problems. Let's just say for another problem, let's say why the product is defective. Let's say we have an organization that have a product that is defective, then we can check the problem. The characteristic may be the method of producing that product, the material that is used to create that product, the manpower that is used to create the product and manage the machinery, and the machine itself. Maybe there's a problem with the machine. So the tool, fishbone chart, is used to try to pinpoint the problem and the component that can cause the problem. This is by no means the way to create a direct solution, but it is a way to help us to identify the sources of the problem. Till this chart, do you have any question? Scatter diagram, I already told you that this is scatter diagram, okay? We'll only show a graph of value, one variable versus another variable, so we can find a pattern. And then cause and effect diagram, Ishikawa fishbone is the same. Pareto chart. Pareto chart is one way to organize error problems and effect to help focus problems. Okay, it is derived from the work of Vilfredo Pareto, a 19th century economist. Let's see about this. Pareto chart of the Hard Rock Hotel. Hard Rock Hotel in Bali has just collected the data from 75 complaints called to the general manager during the month of October. The manager wants to prepare an analysis of the complaint. The data provided are room services, 54, check-in delays, 12, hours the pool is open, 4, minibar prices, 3, and miscellaneous, 2. So the complaints have already been categorized. Approach. We will use Pareto chart as an excellent choice for this analysis. Solution. The Pareto chart shown in the picture will indicate that 72% of the calls were result of one cause, room service. The majority complaint will be eliminated when this one cause is corrected. So actually we just put the occurrences of the problem. Room service is 72%, check-in is 16%, pool hour is only 5%, minibar 4%, and miscellaneous or other only 3%. Okay, which means the most lowest in this, you can see these yellow lines that show about the quality here. So that the greatest quality match is the one that's lower here in room service. This visual means that after we summarize the data, especially if the data have a large amount record, we can immediately spot the top problem and prepare to plan to address them. Next is flowchart. This is an example of a flowchart. Return to the example of Arnold Palmer Hospital. They had undertaken a series of process improvement initiatives. One of these is to make an MRI service efficient to the patient, doctor, and hospital. The first step the administrator believes is to develop a flowchart for this process. I have somewhat private example for this problem in the hospital. So some hospital does not, actually most of the hospital does not like to show their flowchart to the customer. They did not show the process step, the business process, quite openly to the patients. One of these reasons is because I have found out that one of these reasons is the changing procedures from the regulatory, which mean here is the common gas and or another regulatory body. So they try to minimize the information that they give to the customer how to do a process. Which means when we came to the hospital A to do, let's say, an MRI, the process will no doubt will be different with hospital B. Albeit we know that each hospital can use their own process business, but the lack of information that is shown to the patient to do this actually creates a low quality, let's say, low quality score from the patients and the family of patients, because it's not transparent. And I don't know about the other hospital, but there are 3 or 4 hospitals in Jakarta here that actually more than that that does not want to show the information process quite extensively, because one month is changed to the other. Okay, especially on turbulence, moment like in the COVID pre-pandemic and so on. Okay, but that's not a good thing because each customers here it means the patient must be given the way to know how the process works, and then they can do the process more efficiently and more less time consuming. So in this example, flowchart can be used to show the process. First process, second, third, fourth, fifth, and so on. And maybe if there's a decision here, in the seven, there's a question, do you, let's say if the MRI is satisfactory, then you can proceed. If it's not satisfactory, what should you do, and so on. Next, statistical process control. This is a graph that can be used to monitor standards, make measurement, and takes corrective action. So we have a target value line here in the middle, and then we have the lower and upper control limit that shows I can accept between lower and upper. It's okay between lower and upper, although we strive to achieve in the target value, but as long as it's in the lower or upper, we can accept it. Now, when the line crosses the upper and or the lower control limit in a way that we know that this is not an anomaly, this is a problem, then we can see that the problem arises in what stages. In this example, it is a control chart for percentage free throws in basketball with game number 1 until 9. And it shows that there are very low, sorry, not very low. It's still acceptable low target in 8th game, but extremely above the upper control limit on the 9th game number. So there's a problem there. Okay, so what should we do? What is the problem? Because we have the data in statistical. Next, the role of inspection. To make sure the system is producing as expected, we need to inspect, we need to control. The best process have little variation from standard expected, and in fact, if variation were completely eliminated, there would be no need for inspection. But as in a real-world situation, there will always be a variation in the product. So there will always need an inspection. When and where we inspect.
Thank you.
Yes, do you have any question?
No, sir.
Okay. When and where to inspect? Inspection can take place in any of the following points: at the supplier, at the facility, our facility upon receiving goods, before costly or irreversible process, during the step-by-step production, when the production or service is complete, before delivery, and at the point of customer contact. If you buy a physical product, let's say, hey, sir, I buy a flashlight. Maybe usually you can see a little circular sticker there that's written QA, quality assurance, or QC, quality check, which means that it has been inspected and fulfill the standards of the production. That is one of the example that the producers inspect their products. But not every product will need to be quality assured or quality check stickers. It needs to be placed upon them. Okay. Okay. The best inspection can be taught as no inspection at all. This inspection is always done at the source. It's just doing the job properly with the operator ensuring that this is so. It's called source inspection. There is also a term Hokayo. It's a foolproof device or technique to ensure production of goods units every time. This special device avoids error and provides quick feedback of the problem. Simple example of Pokayok device is diesel gas pump nozzle that will not fit into the unleaded gas tank opening on your car. But unfortunately, in Indonesia, it is not employed. In McDonald's, the French fry scoop and standard size container used to measure the correct quantity are Pokayoks. So the the serviceman or the service girl will not take more quantity or less than quantity because it already have a standard size container. Similarly, in hospital, the prepackaged surgical coverings that contains exactly the items needed for medical procedure are Pokayoks. Checklists are also Pokayok types to ensure consistency and completeness in carrying out a task. The basic example is a to-do list, which can be taken in the form of pre-flight checklists. If you watch like a series like National Geographic, there are aircraft investigations, you will know that each pilots before a flight, during a flight, and after a flight needs to do a checklist. A checklist is a to-do list, and they give just a checklist when they already do those things. It is very important and it's very powerful to prevent catastrophe. Okay, and it can be used and implemented to measure and to maintain the standard quality of a product or services. Okay, this is example in inspection for services. There's an airlines example, law office, hospitality, health, and so on. Next, TQM in services. It's a bit different for TQM in product and in services. Because the component of services is more difficult to measure than the quality of tangible component, and generally the user of a service, like user of goods, have features in mind that form a basis of comparison among alternatives. Lack of any one feature may eliminate the service from further consideration. A quality may also be perceived as a bundle of attributes in which may lesser characteristics are superior to those of competitors. This approach to product comparison differs little between goods and services. However, what is very different about the selection of services is the poor definition of the intangible differences between products and the intangible expectation customer have of this product. Both of these definition uses the word intangible. Intangible means we cannot easily read or we cannot easily measure them. It's intangible. Indeed, these intangible attributes may not be defined at all, so they are often unspoken image in the purchaser's mind. That is why all of those marketing issues such as advertising, image, and promotion can make a difference, because advertising and promotional can create an almost, I say almost tangible attributes of the customer expectation for a services. The operations managers play a significant role in addressing several major aspects of service quality. The tangible component of many services is important. There's so minimum. There's not much tangible component in services. So we need to catalog them, we need to find them, and we need to, let's say, use them as the parameter for our analysis as best as we could. This is some of the determinants of service quality. 1, reliability. 2, responsiveness. 3, competence. 4, access. 5, courtesy. 6, communication. 7, credibility. 8, security. 9, understanding the customers. And 10 itself is the tangible things that usually include the evidence of physical attributes for the services. We return to the example of Alaska Airlines. Like many organizations, Alaska Airlines sets quality standards in areas such as courtesy, appearance, and time. Shown here are some of Alaska Airlines' 50 quality checkpoints based on a timeline for each departure. They must have 97% boarded in 10 minutes before departure time. First passenger boarded 40 minutes before departure. First bag to conveyor belt are 15 minutes after arrival. Onboard check-in counts 5 minutes before departure. All doors close 2 minutes before departure, and so on. So, today we learned that quality is a term that means different things to different people. We can define quality as the totality of features and characteristics of a product or service that bears on its ability to satisfy stated or implied need. I will need to further underline stated or implied needs. In the end, we say a product has a good quality when it satisfies our needs. And our needs can be stated explicitly or not stated at all. To better understand the characteristic of a quality, we can use diagrams such as the fishbone diagram to find the characteristic or component that affecting the quality. As a general thing, the management for quality called total quality management addresses 7 things, which is continuous improvement, Six Sigma, employee empowerment, benchmarking, just in time, Taguchi concept, and the knowledge of TKM tools. Which is the 7 of TKM tools are check sheets, scatter diagrams, cause and effect diagrams, Pareto charts, flow charts, histogram, and statistical process control. Do you have any questions?